The next Battlefield game will be better than Battlefield 2042, and I would even go as far to say as the next Battlefield game being definitively worse than Battlefield 2042 is pretty much an impossibility at this point. And yes, I will preface this video by stating that I am fully aware that EA, DICE, and whoever else they have working on Battlefield are essentially the champions of the universe when it comes to disappointment. But even with that fact being established, and even with all of Battlefield 2042's separate mistakes, I don't think they will make the same catastrophic number of mistakes in the next Battlefield game. Because don't get it twisted, Battlefield 2042 did get some things correct, but the sheer shocking amount of separate mistakes in Battlefield 2042 make it, in my opinion, literally almost impossible for them to make the next Battlefield game definitively and comparatively worse. Because I think if you're taking everything into account and you're looking at the situation rationally, the only way is up, even if it's only baby steps upward. So let's start talking about this stuff in detail. I'm Enders. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Really appreciate that. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitch. I stream every single day. First link in the description. And I want to preface the discussion by saying a scenario that I thought of that is not without of the realm of possibility that would absolutely make the next Battlefield game worse, but I don't think it's going to happen. And this Doomsday scenario would be Battlefield going the milsim/tactical shooter route. That would literally just kill the entire game. We're talking about things like they add a bleeding mechanic. They slow the game down significantly. They essentially make the game hardcore as its core mode. They go ahead and add things like movement inertia. They make the stance switching incredibly slow. They make the TTK blisteringly fast. They overcomplicate things by adding a bunch of different armor zones and one-shot areas of the body. Basically, it would be them going even farther away from what makes Battlefield Battlefield. Now, segueing this into why the next Battlefield game will not be worse than Battlefield 2042. Let's just start off with something simple and easy to digest, okay? The maps for the next Battlefield game will not be collectively worse than Battlefield 2042's, and I think we can all come to an agreement on that. I don't even need to see the next Battlefield game to pretty much guarantee you that they're not going to make another Hourglass or another Kaleidoscope on release or another Manifest or something like that. And the reason why I can almost guarantee that they aren't going to make maps as bad as Battlefield 2042's is because I don't think they're going to focus on 128 players nearly as heavily or maybe even at all in the next Battlefield game. The addition of 128 players was one of the biggest mistakes in Battlefield history, and it caused a lot of Battlefield 2042's problems, which does include the map design. The maps in Battlefield 2042 are too big, poorly designed, have no flow, and are essentially just disgraces. And of course, they are aware of that fact and spent a ton of this game's quote-unquote content on reworking all of the base game maps. That has never happened before in a Battlefield game. They have never had to rework all of the base game maps because they have been so unbearably terrible to play on. Moving on to some more fairly obvious reasons why the next Battlefield game will not be worse than Battlefield 2042. Just general gameplay design decisions. These would include things like specialists. I don't think we're going to see specialists ever again, and thank God for that, because if McKay tells me about coffee one more time, I might lose my mind. I also think there's going to be a scoreboard in the game at launch in the next Battlefield game, which I can't even believe I have to say that. I think we're going to see a class system in the game at launch. I think we're going to see a squad management system in the game at launch. And my general point is, I think they have heard the feedback about all of the stupid mistakes they made with Battlefield 2042 in terms of missing these basic features, and I don't think they're going to allow themselves to make those mistakes again. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe EA and DICE will disappoint us somehow yet again, even though the entire community has screamed at them for, the better part of 2 years. But I think this time is different. I think this next Battlefield game is sort of the one that kicked him in the ass, okay? I think they do realize to some extent that if the next Battlefield game has the same reception as 2042, yeah, I think the franchise is getting canceled, boys. And the last point I'll talk about in this video is we're just going to talk about the improbability of Battlefield 2042 as a game that got released in the first place. If you really take a look at every single possible thing that went wrong in terms of design, quality, features, whatever have you, of Battlefield 2042, the fact that all of that stuff that went wrong is in one single game almost defies the odds. And let's not forget, a lot of the people that were responsible for Battlefield 2042 have been, let's say, replaced. And with their replacement comes the replacement of their ideas. And a lot of the people that are in charge of the next Battlefield, such as Marcus Leto, Vince Zampella, Tigger, I think those people come from games such as Battlefield 4, such as, Respawn Entertainment with Apex Legends, Marcus Leto with Halo. I think those people, just from a baseline perspective, when you look at what they've worked on, their ideas are better. And I think, especially with the addition of Tigger from Battlefield 4 working on the next Battlefield game, I think they're going to successfully be able to take a look at the Battlefield franchise and recover it to a, let's say, an acceptable point. And the final thing I will mention in this video is if you take a look at how Battlefield 2042 has progressed over, I'd say, the past year, I don't think anyone can deny that the game has gotten better than we thought it would get. Now, make no mistake, the game is still fucking terrible, but it got a lot better than people thought it would get. The maps that they've added have been better. I think Redacted is probably the best Metro-style map they've ever made. I personally like it way more than Metro, and I actually even like it more than Operation Lockers in some areas. I'd say it's probably tied with Operation Lockers. Reclaimed is a decent map. Flashpoint is a decent map. They did a good job with balancing the classes with restrictions here and restrictions there. And I think the important thing to take away from that is the mindset and the thought process the developers applied to the game. They got more things correct, and I think if they can carry that into the next Battlefield, it'll be much better than Battlefield 2042, actually pretty easily. Now comes the funny part when the next Battlefield game gets announced, and it is a milsim, and then I quit gaming forever and disappear on the dark side of the moon. So if you enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Definitely let me know your comments down below. I'm trying my hardest to put out Battlefield content, ladies and gentlemen. You guys that watch to the end of the videos, you guys are really like the backbone of the channel. I really do, really love you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. So just know I'm doing my best trying to put content out. I'm going to try to put out maybe some videos on, Call of Duty in the finals and other games here and there. Come check out the streams. First link in the description. Following is free. Join the Discord just so you know what's going on. Sometimes I do giveaways. It announces when YouTube video goes up in the announcement channel. Lots of fun stuff in the Discord. You can even post food that you made. So check out the Discord, and I'll see you guys later.